everybody. Welcome. I am just wanting to give you a word of encouragement today in these times of crisis that we are living through. I just want to encourage you. You know, COVID-19 is ravaging many parts of the world, and who knows when it will end. We can't see the end of this. It's not in sight. We really do not know how many people will be infected. And also it's an impact on the economy, the world economy. These are difficult and uncertain times. I believe what we need to do is learn to have a theology of suffering, a theology that lives in the moment. Recently, N.T. Wright, who is a biblical scholar and was the Bishop of Durham, wrote an article for Time magazine, and he made the point that Christianity doesn't have a pat answer for the issue of COVID. You know, everybody, whenever these disasters strike, people say, oh, it's because the politicians did that or so-and-so did this. N.T. Wright says no. But what Christianity does have to offer is the ability to lament, to weep in these times. And I want to talk about lamenting today. I want to talk, what does that mean? What does it mean to lament, to weep in this kind of situation? You know, lamenting as a gift, as a spiritual gift, is opposite to what we normally try and do. We often try and ignore suffering. We often try and sort of put it aside and say, well, if we focus on it, we're going to almost be saying that God is not present. Jeremiah the prophet teaches us to lament. You know, he had grown up in Jerusalem, his hometown. This is where he was born. He grew up there. He taught. His ministry started there. But the Babylonians came and they invaded the city. He saw people dying in the street, people being murdered. He was taken off into captivity. And how does he respond? Well, he writes the book called Lamentations. And if you look at the Hebrew, the word echar is actually means how or alas. Or, oh, you know, it's that sense of how can this happen? Alas, this has happened. Oh no, this has happened. You know, it's a book that expresses the full feeling of this situation. In fact, one of the chapters is an acrostic of the Hebrew alphabet, the A to Z of the Hebrew alphabet. And there's the sense that teaches us to lament the A to Z of what we are going through. In other words, expressing it all, being real with where we are and expressing it all. But you know what? In the middle of all of this, and right in the center of this book, in about chapter 3, verse 21, he is lamenting and talking about everything that has happened. And then he says this, yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassion never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait on him. The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him, to the one who seeks him. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man to bear the yoke while he is young. Let him sit alone in silence, for the Lord has laid it on him. Let him bury his face in the dust. There may yet be hope. Let him offer his cheek to the one who would strike, and let him be filled with disgrace. For no one is cast off by the Lord forever. Though he brings grief, he will show compassion. So great is his unfailing love, for he does not willingly bring affliction or grief to anyone. Here, in the horror of what was playing out before him, he remembers God's goodness. To lament, I want to say, is good. It is important. Like the book of like this book that Jeremiah wrote, we need to remember, though, God's goodness. You know, in the horror of COVID, lament the lives that have been lost, the jobs lost. Lament what has gone. Lament that our lives as we knew it is not going to come back. Today I went and set out chairs in the church and was only able to set out 19 chairs. And so we've got to look at those kind of things. Lament the A to Z of our lives. However, don't stop there. Remember the hope that is in Christ. Remember what is the new beginning that we are going to be experiencing. This man was going through the greatest sufferings he knew, and yet he held on to the greatest hope he knew. And he wanted to communicate that. And I want to communicate that to you today. Lament, yes, but hold on to the hope that we have in Christ.